run first Conservation Commission meeting. I just want to remind everyone that we are being recorded. So make sure you have your good behavior tonight. Gene, maybe you don't have to take such good notes. I mean,
I never do.
you can transcribe better than afterwards.
It's beautiful.
Okay. So Dennis, I'd like to have you start off. Do you have anything that you'd like to notify us about or any updates?
Yeah, we could go over what we've been working on. Let me see if I can share the screen here. Try this.
Okay.
Let's see. Here's the maps that we've been working. This is the latest land use map.
Cool.
And you can see all the part. Could you see that?
Yep, you got the lake all colored in. Nice.
Pretty clear.
All right, you can see that the APRs, 61, 61A, 61B, those are all private. Then after that, it's Park and Rec Conservation, Rail Trail, Water Commissioner, Selectmen, School Board. Those are all owned basically by the town, but this is who's managing those properties. It's the actual manager of the property. Then we have the state of Massachusetts, West Springfield Wells, Westfield Waterworks. These are all land use activities in Southwick. And I'm trying to update them. The subdivisions, you can see some of them have open space that's protected in perpetuity, and some of it isn't. Right now, I'm working on the Ranch Golf Course, trying to update that because it's fragmented. The open space on here doesn't show. So I'm trying to get a map where it actually shows where the parcels are, the open space, to update that. And I'll send everybody a copy of this, so if you look at it and you see anything that looks out of whack, you let me know. It's still a work in progress.
So on the golf course test, you have to draw in new polygons within that ranch?
Well, Rob has, he might have some maps that I can use that I can give to the assessor's office.
Okay.
Or give it to CAI, have them put it right in there.
I do.
Maps.
We're gonna provide those. Certainly, they're on record, and we also have them, so we'll get those to you.
Now, the other map that Chris and I have been working on, and we feel this is particularly important for right now because people are going to want to get outdoors. They're going to be have cabin fever pretty soon if they haven't already. And we have all the recreational properties on an active map. We've been working with CAI to get this so we can put it online. You'll be able to click on each one of these parcels. You can see they're identified in the legend. You can click on it. It's going to tell you all the information, hours of operation, whether they're open or closed, first of all, where they'd be able to use them.
That would help, yeah.
And, you know, so people, if they want to go out, they can look and see. Of course, this is Wally Park over here. Yep, probably be closed, but, you know, it all depends. We can keep updating it. It's going to be an active map. Down here is a Goose Pond property. This is Goose Pond. This is the parcels. It's accessible by the rail trail, so people could theoretically just take their bikes down there, go for a walk. Sofinowski Preserve, North Pond land. But we do have a proposal that I will be getting to everybody from Cartographics, CAI. It seems like a reasonable proposal. It's not that expensive to put this online through Mass GIS. It'd be through ArcView. So other boards, other committees, other departments will be able to use it also. They can set up their own maps, their own linkage.
Great.
Let me see, stop. And what else we got here? We got one more. Let's see. How do you go? Stop share. Share screen. Okay, this is a property on 21 Bonnie View. They've been having problems with their backyard for quite a while. We've been trying to get them some assistance through the flood program. They really need to have a retaining wall. They've been trying to patch it up, but as you can see, it's not working out too well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gotten to the point where it's getting sinkholes, and he almost lost his wife in the sinkhole the other day.
Wow.
Well, he was smiling when he told us that, but they really need a
What is that
retaining wall.
supposed to be, Dennis?
What's that?
What is that supposed to be, that structure?
This was a retaining wall. Right now it's a bird feeder.
Okay.
But this would be,
Dennis, you have somebody in your waiting room. I heard some dings. I don't know if you let them in or not.
Doug, is that your call, the waiting room?
Everybody who was in the waiting room was admitted. There was a bunch of people that just came in.
Okay.
So they wanted to get on the agenda for tonight, but we didn't know if we were going to have a meeting and everything was up in the air, so we weren't able to get them on the agenda. But I was talking to Dick Grinnells, and he's willing to work with the homeowner and Alan Brooks, who's going to be the person doing the wall. And we're looking to do this under emergency certification, because it certainly looks like an emergency. And he's going to bring the plans to Dick, to DPW, Dick's an engineer, review the plans and oversee the project. I think it's, instead of having to put these people through any more time and waiting for their backyard to fall into the brook.
Hey, Dennis, how long has this been going on? I mean, what we're looking at here, is this just from this spring?
It got more severe when they put the sewer lines in. They cut some of the pipes that were draining directly to the road. So since the sewers have been put in, it's gotten more severe. But this sinkhole, this stuff over here is rapidly degenerating. Since the last time I was out there, this is all fresh. And they've been trying to throw dirt in there or do whatever they can, and it doesn't work. It just goes into the brook. So it's a pretty bad situation. Alan Brooks is going to give him a figure on repairing this wall, putting a preformed wall in here. And Dick Grinnells has offered to oversee it for the DPW.
Great.
So I think that that's a fair way to go at this point.
Sure.
All right, how do we get out of this? Stop share. All right, looks, is there a phone? Somebody calling on the phone?
It's like two people.
Two people. So they're just listening?
I'm on a phone, but I can see your pictures on a computer.
Okay, so we got Marissa joined us. Brian Pranka joined us.
Yes.
And Sophia.
Hi, guys.
Welcome.
Whose number is this? 207-735-3989?
Norm Cheever.
Thank you, Norm.
Hey, Norm.
Right?
Okay. So
Do you want to talk about the, we've had some issues about the, not real issues, but we had issues on Facebook about the alum treatment, about the dead fish washing up. I think Chris and Dick and Ken Wagner have addressed that issue, but Chris, do you know any more about that?
yeah, I guess Ken did do a survey of the bottom of the lake, and there were some dead rainbow trout, but those were the only species of fish that were dead. And that can happen sometimes when stocking occurs, depending on the shape the fish are in originally. They make a long truck ride. Sometimes they're not fed well. Their aeration isn't good in the truck. Sometimes things happen like that, but they're not really sure exactly why. They can't really speculate on why, but there are no really other species of fish that are dying. Ken did notify the state, and they talked about it, and it's not considered a fish kill. So they're thinking it's not really from the alum treatment.
Is that more like DOA for them from the stress of the travel, you think?
It could be from the stress and just introduced into a different type of environment. The water temperature might have been different. The amount of oxygen in the water might have been different. The pH might have been different. Sometimes those factors will weigh in on how the fish survive when they're stocked.
When they dump them into the lake, they do dump them pretty hardly too. There was how many days after the stocking? Do you know how many days after that they turned up?
They stocked on the 24th and then on the 27th again, and they started the alum treatment on Monday. Was it last Monday? Yeah. But I mean, I caught fish out in the lake in front of my house that were healthy, and they had just come through the alum treatment the previous day. And, seemed like the fish were in good shape when I was catching them. So
How many fish did they put in?
they put hundreds in at a time. So I'm not really exactly sure. They don't tell you on the stocking report. The stocking report will say usually what species are put in, and they'll usually say what size, but I guess this time they put in all different sizes. They put in some of the breeder fish, which are a little bit bigger fish, because they weren't sure if they're going to be able to keep the hatcheries open. So I think they were trying to dump everything that they could. So,
Oh, wow.
So we don't know the percentage of a kill then?
no.
Okay.
No.
We do have people monitoring it on a daily basis. There are people out at the site every day monitoring what's going on. Norm, do you have any information on that?
I do not have any new information, no.
I know Dick has been keeping an eagle eye on it for us.
Yeah, I guess a lot of the scientific reports came back pretty normal as far as the levels of what they're monitoring during the application process. So I think things look good so far.
Now, we didn't have the hearing scheduled till 7:30 because I didn't know it was going to go this smoothly to get this set up. Do you want to try and you've got some documents, Rob, that you want to see if we can get those loaded in, or do you know?
Yeah, that'd be great. I believe Ryan has the PDF. We just tried to do like a quick PowerPoint, not knowing how this was going to work. We figured worst case scenario, if you couldn't hear us, you could actually read our presentation. But Ryan, do you want to try to?
You want to give that a test run? Yeah.
Sure. It's saying host disabled participant screen sharing. Do I have to get permission to screen
I
share?
think Doug's the host. Doug, are you the host? Or Dennis, are you the host?
Both of us. Brian, try it now.
Yep,
there he
working
is.
now.
He's the co-host.
All right.
Very nice.
Looks good.
All right, you just make sure the plan comes up.
Yep.
Roll through.
Yep.
Good. Okay. We're still working on the graphics, but better than nothing, I guess.
So, Doug, how did you enable him to be able to do that? Which button did you push?
I clicked on his name and then clicked more and made them a co-host.
Excellent. Thank you.
Rob, I think your client has joined as well because I see pizzas being made in the background there. Oh, and now they're gone.
Been way too long since I've had a good pizza.
I know.
So conservation members, was anybody able to look at the minutes of the last meeting, review those? Or?
I looked at them. I only saw one thing, and just a typo type of thing. Not even under the Greens staging area. They forgot Mr. Clark's title on the second to the last line. It should say Coordinator Clark. That's about it.
I read through them as well. They look good.
They look
I
good.
missed what Jerry missed, so.
I didn't even see that other part, Jerry. So
I
thanks.
had a lot of time on my hands, so.
I think we all do.
You guys want to make a motion to accept them?
I'll
Love to make a motion.
A second?
Jerry, did you make that, Jerry, or was it me?
I made one. Mehmet made a
Alright.
motion.
I'll second it. Dave McCormick.
David seconds. All in favor?
Jerry, aye.
Any opposed? Okay, unanimous.
Do you need to do a roll call vote for
Yeah.
the
I
minute?
don't think for unanimous, do we, Doug?
I only heard, and I would, just because in that I only heard one vote.
Okay,
And then also when someone makes a I should have brought this up at the beginning. When someone makes a motion, you should just say your name and that you're making that motion, because there was, even there was some
Right.
confusion for
yeah,
that.
we gotta go through a few things.
Yeah. We're going to learn as we go.
Okay, Christopher Pratt is a yay on the minutes. Jerry, you can go.
Gary's yay.
Mamet,
Yep.
Brian, are you there?
I'm here, yes.
Okay. The other
Which
Brian?
Brian? Which
Yeah,
Brian?
Franca,
Brian Drennan, yes.
Marissa, were you there?
Yes, here, aye.
Okay. And David?
Yes.
All right, I think that's everybody. Anybody?
Yep.
on there? Okay.
Hey, Dennis, how long before the hearing?
15 minutes.
We brought the beer.
Anything else, Dennis?
Yeah.
Well, part of what was on the agenda was to go through the new protocol, and Doug is working on that with us as we go along.
Okay. Yeah,
We can use electronic signatures, Doug? Is that part of the deal?
I put that to the town clerk, because they're the ones who are going to figure that out, because that is a bit of an issue right now, and they're looking into how they're going to solve that problem. The state has issued all kinds of waivers and variances in the interim about signatures required and so on and so forth, but I don't know the answers to all that yet.
Does the town have DocuSign, Doug?
We do not.
The Charlie Baker did make it okay, though, or the DEP, for our stuff to do it. We do electronic signatures anyway on our notice of intents, but this would just be carrying it one step further.
well, you have my permission to stamp, Dennis.
Yeah, you heard that, Gene?
There's one.
How would we do the electronic signature if we were to do that?
I think a lot of it depends on the platform, Matt.
Say what?
I think a lot of it depends on the platform. I know at work we use DocuSign. So
Okay.
you get added to a distribution list and you would get an email asking you to sign off on it.
Okay.
But that's just one platform, so.
Okay. So we would verbally approve or disapprove on something and then wait for paperwork to be emailed
Yeah.
and then sign off to our statement of whatever it was and then go from there, I guess.
Right now, I think that's why it's so important to be very clear with any votes that are taken,
Right.
especially if your vote would lead to a signature, in case there's some kind of waiving of the required minimum number of signatures or something like that. Your meeting minutes and the audio recording would be an affirmative recording of the vote to
Okay.
perform a signature.
Okay.
But
Right, and
again,
take
it's with
off,
the clerk to figure out how that's actually going to work according to state law.
Yeah, and even in that sense, nobody can change their mind later and say, "Oh, I didn't vote that way." I mean, you
Yeah.
said their name.
You guys want to talk about the baseline report for the Greens West? We got the from Levesque while they're here.
You can talk about, or they can talk about.
Well, I had my comments. I put my comments in that I thought that having the vernal pool in there would be necessary. Have that mentioned at the vernal pool, certified vernal pool.
Right.
And the other issue I have is the access off of Sawgrass. It's their 20-foot access to get to the open space. It doesn't exist. Matter of fact, there's a trench dug there somebody could fall in if they tried to walk to get there. So I don't know if you want to mention that in the baseline report or say this is yet to be done, but it should be noted that it doesn't exist at this point. Did you catch that, Rob?
I did. Yep. We can update that as necessary. Any comments you have, we will absolutely update and make sure we get a revised one.
So the conservation restriction has been approved by the state, by the Commonwealth, finally, on the west. And I understand that they're working on the east, the greens east for the conservation restriction there. It should be a lot easier now that we've been through it. But the baseline report is for both the west and the east. That's the way I'm reading it.
Yes.
That's correct.
So if any commissioners have any comments, most of you guys have been out there and seen it. Now's the time to get it to them.
Yeah, I think, Dennis, just what you and I observed when we were out there, primarily the vernal pool, making sure that that's notated on the mapping.
Ryan, you can make a note and have Nick update that for them.
Yep. Will do.
I see Brian Pranka is with us now.
He was before.
I've been here.
You have been? Oh, I didn't see your name up there before. You're on your phone?
Yes, sir. Actually, I got, I can see visuals. I'm on the phone though for audio.
Excellent.
He's camera shy.
Yeah.
So we have a full board tonight then.
Yeah. Maybe we should do this all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. If if we can't come to a conclusion tonight on Lakeview, we could just schedule a meeting for pretty much any time once we've
Right.
had it reviewed by Randy and Dick and everybody's happy with what's going on. You don't have to wait for the May meeting, May 4th.
Mm.
Yeah, we don't need the land use room, so we have to depend on our schedule. We can send out the invitations, make sure we invite everybody back and go from there.
That sounds good. Yeah.
So we
Doug,
do
is this a personal Zoom license or is this a town license we're using? I mean,
Town
how
license.
so it's available?
Yes.
Is Doug there?
Yeah, he replied. Hey, Dennis, while we're waiting, just an update on the fencing for Woodland. I had Jason Lebrecht from Security Fence out there today, just basically trying to get a need for what the fencing requirements would be.
Mhm.
So I would expect to have a quote within the next 48 hours, but basically we're just looking to replace what's there with split rail, which was there already. So we just did a count of posts and rails today.
And how much was in that account? Do you remember?
I thought you were saying it was like $1,100.
$1,100?
Yeah.
That sounds right.
So as soon as he gets a quote over, I'll send that off to you.
Can you email it to me, Dave?
Sure can, Gene. For you, I can.
Yeah.
Nobody else though.
Yeah. I knew that was going to be your answer.
So the float for the 250th celebration?
That's a good topic. David? Are we going to be working out in the garage over at
David, when is this thing again? How many more years?
It's
It's
going
in
to be the 45th of July.
Oh, good. Are you saying it's in October? Is that what I heard?
Nobody knows, do we, David?
Listen, yeah, I know I don't know, but I am certain that we will have access to a vehicle that we can build a float on, yes.
Wonderful.
Great.
Marcus is on the parade committee, so he could update you
I'll
on.
chime in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. I unmuted.
There you go.
The parade is scheduled for October 11th of 2020, and that's a Sunday. The gathering place is on Hudson Drive, that area.
Oh, perfect.
And people are going to be asked to arriving at 11 a.m. The parade starts at 1 p.m. And there is an application form that you can get to online. Go to southwick250.org, and there's a clickable button for the parade. And if you look around, you'll see the application form. It's pretty basic. And you fill that out, submit it, and we'll know basically what it's going to be as far as the description of it and so forth.
Very good.
Guys, I can leave you my Kubota washed up and cleaned up to pull it. That's not a problem. I won't be around. I'll be in Newfoundland, but
No, sad for you, but that'd be nice.
but
Are you going for
whoever
the
wants to
Canadian
drive it.
250th?
What's that?
Are you going for the Canadian 250th?
No, I'm going up for Moose.
Dave's got the trailer, right, Dave? We got your trailer we can use?
I don't have a trailer, but I'm commandeering one, yes.
That's just as good.
It's even better.
True. I don't have to pay tax.
Brian, you still going to help us with the waterfall and the fishing poles and all that kind of good stuff?
Oh, absolutely. I just won't be there to drive it. I'll leave it. Dave, the plan is what, to set the float up at the
Probably at Andy's shop.
okay, and then I'll just park it there before I go and leave it hooked up, and yeah, but I'll definitely be around to help set it up.
Would this be a good time to put in our moose orders too, or?
Yeah.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
Okay.
Oh, and those of you who came in a little bit later, or just want to make sure you all know that we're being recorded. So put that back out there.
So one additional thing I have before we get to the hearing, I'm still getting some emergency requests for trees, dangerous trees. And we're just going through our regular process. Randy Brown, the tree warden, goes out to inspect the trees, gives us his assessment, whether they're really a danger or not. So nothing has changed with that.
Okay.
So we got 3 minutes before the hearing. Anybody got anything else they want to throw out there? Gene, you haven't said much.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Uh-oh.
No, the only thing, Ryan, what you have here, did you already email that to us? Your presentation?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Sent that to you. I believe Sophia had sent it.
Yeah, we got about 5:30. I got it. So everybody will get copies of that tomorrow.
Well, I just need a copy for the folder.
Oh yeah, you got one.
Okay. Does everybody like the color I painted my office? That's
Beautiful.
COVID-19 green.
I can tell you that's not the right color green.
Yeah. As close as I could get.
It's amazing all the painting projects people are doing.
The lady at Home Depot said she can't believe how many gallons of paint in every different color that she's made in a very short period of time.
Yeah. It's crazy. We even bought some, so.
All right, it's just about 7:30. This is a continuation, so there's no reason to read a legal notice.
Okay, we're continuing the project, 7 and 9 Lakeview Street at 90 Point Grove Road in Southwick. And you are on, Jeremy. Oh my gosh, Ryan, I do it every time.
Okay. All
Sorry.
right, so for the record here, Ryan Nelson from R. Levesque Associates, continuing where we left off at the last meeting for a notice at 7 and 9 Lakeview Street, 90 Point Grove Road in South. So we're going to briefly just give a little project summary for those that weren't familiar or not meeting it last time, and then our revision update. So we're looking to, or the applicant's looking to construct a single-family home on 2 different parcels. Portions of the work are located within bordering land subject to flooding and the buffer zone to Congamon Lake at the North Pond. On the property, there's an existing pavilion and septic system that will be demolished, and the site is going to be regraded first so that the pad sites of the future homes are going to be located above the 100-year flood elevation. And overall, there's going to be a net increase of comp storage, flood storage on site. Once the site has been graded and the stormwater drainage structures are installed, the future build out of the homes will not be located within the buffer zone to the lake or bordering land subject to flooding. A portion of the proposed site grading is located on parcel 78, which you are mostly all familiar with as the Cove banquet facility. So as we had talked about last time, the 2 resource areas for this project are bordering land subject to flooding and the buffer zone to Lake Congamon. So as stated, in the flood zone, we're first going to be regrading the site and creating a net storage of compensatory flood storage on site. And the actual construction of the homes won't affect bordering land subject to flooding because it will be built at an elevation above the 100-year flood elevation. And then work within the buffer zone is limited to site grading to achieve that comp storage configuration, and the actual construction of the structures will be located outside of the buffer zone. Go to the plans here. So the Cove facility as banquet facility, this building here, on Lakeview Street, there's this open grassed area. The parcels, here's parcel 80.1, you can see the property line here, goes up, and then the other parcel, parcel 80, this is the property line. So the site is going to be regraded. We're going to be excavating into this slope here and creating lower elevations, and then that volume of material is going to be moved to the building pads sites, and overall, you can see that increase in flood storage, well in excess of what we need at the 3 elevation increments that this project's site grading is involved with. Erosion controls, silt fence around the limit of work. Some of the revisions from last time, DPW comments, were the stormwater filtration chambers that would catch roof runoff from the proposed structure. We have swapped those out with a more shallow profile chamber, and it will maintain the setback distances between seasonal high groundwater, as well as give us enough cover on top so they can have a backyard. We'll get to that cross-section profile in a minute. Another revision was the proposed sewer connections. There was an existing sewer line that went across the parcels. So it served the Cove, went across the parcels through an easement connected to Lakeview Street. We did test bits, I want to say about a month ago, to verify the depth of that existing sewer line. It was installed very shallow, and it's going to be in conflict with this excavated comp storage area. So we're proposing that the line either be removed completely or cut and capped in place. And there's going to be 3 new sewer connections to serve each parcel connecting to the existing sewer main on Lakeview Street. Other than that, we have added proposed wells to service the home, be likely located in the front yards. This here, parcel 80. Right now, we're just proposing site grading on that parcel. The owner doesn't have a definitive house footprint picked out yet. So under this notice of intent, we're just preparing the site for home construction with the intention that the actual construction in the future would be located outside the buffer zone. There's a 100-foot buffer zone. And then the construction would also be above the flood zone elevation of 229 because this finished pad site will be at 230. So the intention is that we're prepping the site, and in the future, notice of intent would not be required when they want to actually go and build.
It'll be in that dotted line rectangle
Yes.
where it says parcel 80?
Yep, that building envelope right here.
Okay. And that's not going to change?
Well, if it does, they'd have to come back.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
If he
Any
wants a
revision?
yard or anything, yeah.
Right. Yep. So getting back to the cross-section profile that I believe Dennis and DPW required or was requesting, we have provided that. You can see that.
Ah, there it is.
May make some better sense. So this is 20 scale horizontally, and it's an exaggerated 1 inch equals 2 feet vertically. So it looks steeper than it actually is on site. So starting from the lake, if you're looking north, like a north facing profile, starting at the edge of the lake here, roughly around elevation 224, you have your existing grade sloping gently, and then proposed grade is this line here. So this is the field up for the pad site of the house. And then you have a little dip towards the driveway, and then the driveway gradually climbs up to Lakeview Street. We did test bits on the site and seasonal high groundwater to be at an elevation of 224.5. So just for schematic purposes, we showed a house with a full basement, which is what the applicant desires. Here's your footing, your basement slab, 8-foot basement. Your top of wall elevation is well above the 229 100-year flood elevation. We're showing the stormwater infiltration chambers here. They have 2 feet of separation as required from groundwater. They have adequate cover underneath, above. These are StormTech 310 chambers, and there's a detail on those sheet 2. The profile looking at one of those would be this here. So you have your crushed stone surrounding that chamber, and then your cover, and this would be your finished grade top of lawn here.
Yeah, that really helps a lot seeing that.
Yep, we're proposing 12 of those chambers, which provides more than adequate volume to store a 1-inch rainfall event from all the impervious surfaces of the home and the deck and the garage. So those numbers are provided here on the plan. I think that covers all of the plan revisions that were requested. If you guys have any questions, let us know.
Oh, excuse me.
Ryan, I just have one question about the sewers. You had mentioned they're going to be cut and rerouted. Where are they going to be rerouted to?
Sure. So that existing line is going to be, you know, if it's in conflict of where they're excavating, obviously it will be removed.
Right.
Place where it doesn't need to be removed. They may remove the thing entirely where the exact depth is across that whole stretch. But the new sewer connections, so out of the cove, it would be right here.
Okay.
Coming down, there's an existing grease trap here that would tie into it.
All right.
Then the sewer would come down and angle, and we were told, if possible, try and make the connections at manholes. So we're showing that for Mr. Brown's request.
Right. Well, he's aware of what has to happen, right?
Yes, yep.
Can I interrupt for just a second, Ryan? Doug, can we tell where that background noise is coming from? Is there a way to find out where the dog barking and then background noise is coming from?
Sure. Okay. Who's got the dog?
That's easy.
Might be mine.
It's easiest just to go on mute unless you're going to talk, bottom left.
Correct.
Thanks, Doug.
I didn't hear that, so that's, I don't know.
Thanks, Ryan.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. So for the proposed home, the sewer connection is going to come out of the front face of the house, come down here, angle at 45, and then connect into the existing sewer main here. We weren't able to go to a manhole in this location because of the property line crosses here. We'd have to get an easement for this stretch. It just makes more sense to keep it within the same property, a little cleaner that way.
Right.
And then for this future home area here, same thing. There'd be a stub sewer service connection. This isn't final, depending on where the house ends up, but it would connect right
Is
here.
it
This
going
existing.
to have its own stub, or is it going to be tied to the other house?
No, these are all going to be independent.
Okay.
Do you have the list with Randy's comments and the red line remarks available?
Yep, I can do that. I don't know if you guys want to read along or go through them, how best you want to go about it. I don't know if everyone's read them or not.
No, we just got them at 5:30, so I don't think we got a chance to look at them yet.
Okay, so I'll start from number 1 if you'd like. The applicant shall update the stormwater report to provide information on proposed dry wells and any other proposed drainage controls. However, based on the information shown on these plans, DPW questions the effectiveness of the proposed dry wells. For the dimensions of the precast concrete dry well detail, the bottom of each proposed dry well will be below normal groundwater elevation. Although they are called dry wells on these plans, these structures function like leaching as detailed in the Mass Stormwater Handbook. The handbook states the bottom of the leaching catch basin should be at least 2 feet above groundwater. The applicant should consider horizontal leaching units as they would be more appropriate for these site conditions. Further, all leaching units should be located at least 10 feet from the property line and 10 feet from the building foundation per 310 CMR 27 underground control. So with these revised site plans, we are utilizing a more horizontal infiltrator, StormTech SC310 chambers instead of the precast concrete dry wells that were previously shown on the original plan. And these will be used for the development of both homes. The subsurface chambers will collect roof runoff and have been sited to maintain 2 feet of separation from the seasonal high groundwater elevation and are also greater than 10 feet away from the building foundation. Design standards and setbacks shall be implemented for the future single-family home on parcel 80. Everyone good on that one? Okay, hearing none. Number 2, as part of the stormwater report and analysis, the applicant shall note the size of impervious area compared to the size of the proposed impervious area once all properties are fully developed. So our stormwater management permit application has been updated to the best of our current knowledge. We have an exact footprint, obviously, for one of the parcels, but one of the parcels, the home is yet to be built. The homeowner doesn't have a set footprint at this time. He's not expected to build it right away. So we are excluding that area. Obviously, this project here is only for the site grading on that second parcel. We're talking about this one over here. If the town feels the need for them to come back and address that during that time, but that proposed work in the future will not be located within any wetland resource areas. So we're showing an existing impervious on site of 7,392 square feet, and that's accounting for, there's an existing pavilion building here and an outbuilding here. Those are going to be demoed, and then the proposed impervious surfaces are going to be the house, the garage, the deck, the sidewalks, and the driveway. In that calculation, we're excluding the Cove banquet facility. Impervious is going to be remain unchanged on that parcel. Number 3, the applicant shall provide details on how the existing sewer line is to be abandoned in place. At a minimum, all open ends shall be plugged. Our response: the existing sewer line will be removed if found to be in conflict by the contractor with excavation or site grading. If the existing sewer line is not removed in its entirety, remaining segments to be abandoned shall be cut and capped in place. Number 4, the applicant shall coordinate the sewer lateral connection locations with the DPW. These connections should be made into existing manholes or at chimney locations that were installed with the sewer system where possible. DPW can provide the locations of these chimney connections to the applicant. That makes sense to us. The contractor or property owner will be responsible for coordinating those details. Number 5, there is no town water along this section of Lakeview Street between Point Grove Road and Lakeshore Drive. The applicant shall provide additional details on where these proposed services are to be connected. And the revised site plans show the proposed homes will be serviced by private wells. Those are located there and right there. Number 6, the applicant shall provide details and profiles for proposed homes to be built on both parcels, in particular basement/crawl space elevations, as they may impact the compensatory storage calculations. So we've provided a cross-section profile for the development of the single-family home on parcel 80.2. As shown, the site will be first regraded such that the pad site for the home's finished grade elevation of 230 is above the flood zone elevation of 229, and therefore there is no hydraulic connection from the 100-year flood zone elevation to any proposed basement and will not impact compensatory flood storage calculations. So if you go back to that cross-section profile, here's your proposed grade right here. Here's the side foundation wall of the house. Here's the flood zone elevation. So the flood waters, this is the max in 100-year storm. So the finished grade is higher. There's no way those flood waters can reach to that exposed wall. There's no hydraulic connection there.
It looks like a pretty steep slope from here. Is there going to be a retaining wall, or how is that going to be supported?
Nope. Well, the alignment, if you're looking at the plan, that cross-section profile samples along a line that goes through the property starting here and ends at the street, and it was over 300 feet. So in order to effectively show 300 linear feet on the plan, you have to exaggerate the vertical scale. So I mean, over a distance of, 50 feet, you're only going up 3 feet.
I see. It's a little deceiving looking at it on this scale.
Yeah, so it's a 6% slope. So.
Yeah.
And a handicap ramp is 8.3% for perspective.
Okay.
Number 7, for Board of Health records, there's a former septic system and leach field located in the proposed cut between parcels 80 and 80.2. Applicant should provide details on how the septic system and leach field are managed if disturbed during construction. So that existing septic system is located in this area here, and it serviced that existing pavilion, which is going to be demolished, and the septic system associated with it is going to be removed as well. Number 8, considering the work is in close proximity to the lake and the large volume of material being disturbed, DPW recommends installing a double barrier silt fence and straw bale. Understood. The commission is, has the right to impose those additional erosion controls in the order of conditions. Number 9, the anti-tracking pad should be extended to a minimum of 50 feet in length. Revised plans have been updated to show a stone anti-tracking apron at the construction entrance of 50 feet in length, and that would be this entrance right here. Number 10, the applicant should provide details on the reduced overflow parking behind the cove and the new number of parking spaces it can accommodate, as this may impact the permitted occupancy of this building. So the area they're referring to is, there's kind of a very gradually sloping or flat grassed area behind the cove on the south side of that meadow. And apparently it's used for overflow parking for the cove during, larger events. We are proposing to modify the grading in this area so that vehicles can still access this area if they so choose. We're not going to be disturbing any ability to park in that area that would differ from existing conditions. Number 11, the planned state Lakeview Street is also known as North Pond Road, which is not correct. The revised site plans have been corrected to state only Lakeview Street. And number 12, the applicant shall secure the following permits from the Public Works Department prior to starting construction, including a new water service application, new sewer service application, trench permit, and driveway permit. And either the contractor, or the homeowner, or our office would be handling that in the future. So I think that addresses all of the most recent comments. If anyone has any questions on those.
I think you guys did a really good job addressing them. Well done.
So Ryan, this is Mr. Pranka. The roof runoff is going to run right into the infiltrator systems?
Yep, you have your roof leaders here catching those along the way, and then there's going to be an access manhole at each end of that row of chambers. Yep.
For maintenance?
Yep.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to revise the plans to show the additional parking grades?
Are you talking about over here?
Yeah, the number 10, what they addressed was the additional parking. You said you were going to change your grades or something so that parking was still available?
So the original plans we had submitted, if you see this slope here, that slope, the actual slope of this hill was maintained all the way coming around through here, and that made it too steep for vehicles. So we made the approach into this basin area more gradual so that cars could drive from Lakeview down that existing driveway to this area.
Okay, that slope there where they're going to be driving down, is there going to be anything there to protect the tires and erosion for later on? In other words, is there going to be anything there for?
So currently there's, a little bit of dirt and gravel for the first, 50 feet or so, and then it peters out to grass. So we're keeping it the same. It'll be grass as is. So we're not proposing to pave or put down hard pack or anything.
And the plan's only showing one row of silt fence now, or two? I can't see it up there.
So silt fence is located, it starts here, going along the back.
Okay, so it's only showing a single
Yeah.
row of
Yep.
silt fence. Okay.
You could throw a detail on there, put a detail with a type of silt fence at erosion control. With stake T-bales and 2 silt fences.
Yep. Sure, yeah, we can add
Yep.
that to that detail.
hmm
That'd be good. Yeah.
And I believe Randy Brown is back. He's in tomorrow, so we can get these plans over to him and Dick. And as soon as they sign off on them, we could schedule another meeting.
Okay, that'd be great.
Did you send them to Randy and Alan and Dick, or do you want me to? Yeah, they've gone to them.
On those, I believe I CC'd him, both of them, so.
Excellent. We don't want to hold it up any longer than we have to, but we just want to make sure that we our due diligence.
Yep, understood.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, it's coming along, that's for sure.
Looking
Looks
good.
good. Looks good.
The only thing I'd like to see is on the plans it shows boat docks.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them removed just because they're not permitted or not any part of this whole thing. Just to say, hey, we approved plans.
Well,
We're
no,
not approving the docks on the plans.
they have to be on the plans to be approved. They're going to be. It says seasonal right on there that they're going to be taken out every year. But this is a new establishment. This is a new NOI, so we really need to have them on the plans.
Okay, so we approve them the way those are then.
They still have to
Yeah.
come back every year for a seasonal permit, but they're going to be approved as they are, and if they want to modify them, they have to come to the commission to modify them.
Yeah.
In the future.
So Dennis, those meet our regulations?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
And they're already in the water.
So if they wanted to add more or take out or change the configuration, they would have to come to us, you said, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But this will take away any controversy in the future about
Mhm.
what was permitted and what wasn't.
How many boats are currently on the plan? I can't see it.
We're not showing any boats. When I was there this winter, I didn't see any in the water. I'm not sure what the configuration was.
Well, how many docks are in there?
3 for each parcel.
6.
Six docks.
3 per parcel. And there is a limitation of how many boats can be docked there. That's
think
in the
10.
local permit.
Yeah, I think 10, after 10, it becomes a marina.
9 is a cutoff point.
9 is a cutoff, right? 10 becomes a marina, and I think you need a different kind of permit.
Correct.
Dennis, those docks are not obstructing any navigation, correct?
That's correct. That's why he moved them. The docks are far away from the canal as possible. He
Okay.
could have potentially put more docks closer, but that's not a good idea. Harbor Masters looked at the plans, and this is what they came up with, the best solution.
Mhm.
Yeah, and especially in that point too, that's like a kind of a pinch point because sometimes boats will congregate there to wait to get back through the canal. So
Yeah.
you get a lot of traffic right in that area on the 3 docks to the left. So it's good to have them as further away from that canal as possible.
Okay.
Anybody else have any comments or concerns?
No, not here.
Tony, you got anything to say? Tony still there? I guess not.
No.
So do you want to request a continuance until the stormwater plan is reviewed? You don't have to ask a continuance to the next meeting because we can have a meeting sooner.
Right, yeah. Request to continue to the next available meeting
There you go.
after.
Perfect.
I'm sorry, who made that motion?
I did.
Ryan,
He made the request and then the committee
Oh.
commission makes a motion to approve the
Okay.
request. Right, Chris?
I'll make a motion to approve the request. There, a second?
Second, Mamet.
Okay, all in favor?
Dave McWilliams in favor.
Gary Patria in favor.
Mamet in favor.
Frank in favor.
Larissa Cook Obregon in favor.
Then you get Brian Drennan.
Brian Drennan in favor.
All right, I think that's all.
Unanimous.
Okay.
I'd like to just say something really quick. You guys are the first Conservation Commission that has done this, and we have a lot. We probably have 20 towns we're working in right now, and it's gone really well. It's pretty encouraging, so it's pretty neat. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
I think it's gone pretty smoothly too, Dennis. Doug, thanks.
Rob, we're very cutting edge out here in Southwick.
I guess so. You farmers are very industrious.
Oh, man.
We got to thank Mr. Moglen for this because he's the one that got this all going for us. We really appreciate it, Doug.
Thank you, thank you.
It's being run by a windmill.
All right, so Ryan just signed the continuance. So I guess whoever was here with that group may leave the meeting if they wish, or they can hang out and listen to us discuss the rest that we had on our to discuss list. There's only a few more things left. I think we hit a lot of what we had.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks everyone. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ooh, look
So-
at there, we are all big again.
So one thing, Chris, I haven't received any word on the Trails grant, whether we got it or not, but
Okay,
we still haven't had our open space plan unconditionally approved. We're waiting for the ADA portion.
okay,
The town got a grant contracted out for somebody to do ADA for the entire town. Hopefully that's done soon, and that's the last piece of the puzzle. And we'll have
that'd be great.
an approved open space plan.
Well, now we know how important open space is, right?
Yeah, now that more than ever.
Right. We have an enforcement order for 112 Sunnyside.
Right.
How's
That
that one?
we're,
Is Dave's still working on a,
they were supposed to, Levesque was going to have a conference call, have a Zoom call with the contractor and the DPW because they're still working out. They changed some of their plans as far as their stormwater review goes. And
Okay.
that meeting got canceled last week, so they need to set that up again, get their stormwater permit approved. Then they can come back. And Dave's working on the in lieu of violation
the in-kind?
in-kind service, yeah.
How about 61 and 63 College Highway?
As far as I can see, that nothing has gotten out onto the road. They've got the silt fences in place. They've got the hay bales. There hasn't been any issues. We'll keep an eye on it. I'm not sure where that stands with the stormwater. That's not our department, but
Right.
How is that coming along? Is anything happening there?
it looks like they're working. I thought there was a cease and desist, but I'm not sure about that. That's not under our jurisdiction, so I'll try to get an update for you guys.
Just curious.
But if you see anything, if you see any problems, let me know. They're supposed to be doing a lot of digging out front with detention basins and rain gardens and all ways to mitigate all that water that's coming off the property.
Still going to have the common driveway?
As far as I know, it's no.
No?
I'm not sure. The state didn't want a common driveway. They want two driveways side by side. But, you know, they always end up being a common driveway anyway because the two driveways side by side is just a wide driveway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I think that's everything on the agenda.
You just had that request for certificate of compliance for Fred Jackson in Granville.
Yeah, Randy's still going over the punch list. They did do the inside of the culvert with some rocks, and they replicated the stream bed. So that looks good. There's just a
Okay,
couple
good.
of other items, Randy, you want to go over with them. And hopefully we'll get that off our agenda the next meeting.
Great.
All right.
Hey,
Hey,
this
Dennis and
works
Chris.
out. What's that?
Dennis and Chris, just, I want to, we can get a follow-up. I know we went and we sat before the budget committee on Saturday morning. Has anything come from that? I haven't heard any follow-up on that.
You know, Dave, we usually don't. Usually we don't find out till before the town meeting, but I'll find out who our liaison to the finance committee is and ask them if there is a follow-up that we can have on our conversation.
Okay, thanks.
Great idea, Dave.
You bet.
All right. Anybody else have anything else they want to say, or any concerns or comments on our meeting tonight?
I think it went well.
Good job.
I think
Pretty
it went
impressive.
pretty smoothly.
Yeah.
Nice job at the helm, Doug.
And thank you all for behaving.
Certainly the largest meeting we had by far. I think there was 18 people at one point.
I think I did see that. Yeah. That's awesome. We're down to 13 now, it says. So
When is the last time you had 18 people at a conservation meeting?
Been a
We've
while.
had more. There has been some crowded rooms on occasion.
I think the first one I was ever at was packed house in the auditorium.
Yeah.
That's when we started doing the sonar treatments for the
Oh, yeah.
milfoil.
So you looking for a motion, Chris?
Yeah, I'm waiting. Usually David's right on that. So
Make the motion to close the meeting. That's Dave.
Second that, Jerry.
all in favor? Chris says aye.
Jerry, aye.
Brian Drennan, aye.
Marisa, aye.
Frank, quick question. How do we do a virtual Southwick Inn?
I was wondering about that.
We would just have, Dennis would have to close us out of here and invite us all back to a new meeting. So it's not televised.
Well, thank you very much, guys.
Good night, all.
Appreciate it.
Good night, everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank
Hey.
you.
We need virtual chocolate too, so.
That's true.
Good day.
Okay, guys, we'll see you later.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you.